Hello all, welcome back to Project Mastery Podcast. Today we are doing 3 procurement questions that people keep mixing up. Where do we create the RFP? Why do we put incentive clauses? And how is profit handled in a fixed price contract? If you have ever answered these from gut feel instead of the pinbock logic, stay tuned. Let's get started with the first question. Where does RFP creation happen? A project manager is creating an RFP. In what part of the procurement process? The options given are make or buy analysis, conduct procurement process, administer control procurement process, or plan procurement management process. The correct answer is plan procurement management. Procurement has two big halves. Plan equals design the game, conduct equals run the game. When you create procurement documents, RFP, RFQ, SOW, draft contract, you're still planning how you will buy. You haven't sent anything to the market yet. You are deciding what are we buying, what is the scope, what are the selection criteria, what contract structure. That's all planned procurement management. The other options are not the right answers. Conduct procurement is an option given, which is not the right answer. It is when you issue the RFP, run bidder conferences, answer seller questions, and evaluate proposals. You use the RFP there, you don't write it there. Make or buy is even earlier. It just tells you whether you should procure or build in-house. Administer or control procurement is after the contract. That is where you manage changes, performance, payments. Creating the RFP refers to planning. Sending the RFP is done during conduct process. Let's move on to question number 2. What is the point of incentive clause? The primary objective of an incentive clause is to reduce buyer cost or to sync objectives or to help seller control cost or shift risk to buyer by reducing seller risk. The right answer is sync objectives. Incentives are contracts, early finish bonus, target cost sharing, performance bonus are there so that the seller wants the same thing the buyer wants. If the buyer's success metric is finished 2 weeks earlier, the incentive says if you finish 2 weeks earlier, you get more money. That is alignment. Why not the other options? Reduce buyer cost. Sometimes that happens, but that's a side effect. It is not the main purpose. Help seller control cost. That is internal to the seller. Incentive doesn't marginally control their cost. Shift risk to buyer. That is a contract type thing. It's not an incentive thing. So we need to remember this for exam. Incentives equal to alignment. We pay more if you hit the outcomes we care about. Moving on to the next question, which is about profit in fixed price contract. In a fixed price contract, the fee or profit is unknown or applied as a separate line item on every invoice, or is it part of the negotiated total price or determined with the other party at project end. The right answer is part of the negotiated total price. In a fixed price contract, the seller has already baked in their cost plus profit into the price you both signed. The buyer just sees the deliverable equals 10 lakhs or this phase equals $35,000. Inside that number is the seller's margin. You don't see profit on a separate line every month. Other options are wrong. Separate line item on every invoice, that is more like cost reimbursable contract. Unknown, that's not the answer. It was negotiated even if the buyer can't see the exact split. Determined at project end, that will be a different arrangement, not a standard fixed price. Fixed price means fixed profit, which is pre-built. Cost reimbursable, you see it or calculate it. Incentive or award fee is what you earn. Let's do a recap. Creating the RFP is done in planned procurement management process. Incentive clause, the objective is to synchronize buyer and seller objectives. Profit and fixed price, already inside the negotiated total price. Drop your score. Was it 3 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3? And tell me which one tricked you. This is the Project Mastery Podcast. See you in the next procurement sprint. Hope the knowledge was valuable. Thank you for tuning in.